everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Cassandra from the blog Craft to Believe After, and I'm so glad that you guys are joining me today. Now, I've had a lot of new yarn friends join me over the last couple of weeks, so just in case you don't know my whole background, I'll give you a quick summary. I live in Copenhagen in Denmark with my family, my husband and my 2 children. We moved here in November of 2020, all the way from South Africa, and I think that's about it. My channel, mostly about crochet. I love amigurumi, so the majority of what you'll see on my channel will be surrounding toys. Here and there a few tutorials, hopefully to still come up. A lot of chat about amigurumis here and there. I'll pop in something else, but we are here to chat about crochet. So I hope you enjoy. I hope you find some inspiration. I know I find tons of inspiration from you guys. You know, the comments you leave me, the emails you send me, patterns you're suggesting to me. I love it. So thank you very much for being here with me today. It is the 17th of August. It's Wednesday at the moment. It's just after 10 o'clock in the morning on my side. Hot as ever. It's like the summer here in Denmark is just not passing. It is, you know, before we moved here, people always told us about how terrible the Danish weather is. It's wet, it's cold, it's dark all the time. That's not what I've experienced. It is really hot over here. So I'm actually looking forward to the cooler weather. I'm looking forward to autumn. I'm definitely looking forward to winter. But before we get there, let's start with what has been happening the last week. The first thing I want to show you guys. Now, you would have seen in my previous video, I showed you the lovely pattern that I tested for Crystal from Chronically Crocheting. I did it in a nice big velvet size 6 yarn, nice and fluffy and big. And I told you guys that I wanted to try him in more my type of yarn, which is a thinner yarn. I actually wanted to do him in Rainbow Cotton 8/4, which is my favorite yarn to use. It's a fingering or a weight 1, super fine. But because a part of the pattern, the eyes, you have to do one size smaller than the rest of the body, I decided to do him in a Rainbow Cotton 8/6, which is a sport weight, a size 2. And I want to show you guys how he turned out. So, Crystal, I know you've been going through a bit of a rough patch the last few days, so I hope seeing this guy will put a smile on your face. So here he is, Mr Barksalot, the mini version. Isn't he cute? So I will show you against my hand. This is him. I don't have, I guess, small hands. I don't have massive hands either. So I don't know what I'm showing you there. But anyway, this is sort of a nice hand size. Sits very comfortably in my hand. There's his little tail. I did make his eyes, I gave him little lids there at the top, just with the same color yarn as the body. I gave his eye a black outline to sort of give him that cartoonish look. His paws, which is just in a little darker brown. Now the pattern suggests or shows that you can put some little nails on the paws, which I decided not to do because I loved it just like that. And then his little tongue. I did the shorter version. So the pattern comes with 2 versions of the ears. So a long version. This one is actually the shorter version of the ears, which I didn't sew them on. There's a suggestion where you sew them on like this, just to give it a little shaping like that. But I decided he looked too cute, just like that. So there you go, Mr Barksalot, the mini version. So for him, I used 12mm safety eyes. So just in comparison, the big one used 30mm safety eyes. This one, 12mm safety eyes. The yarn I used for him, rainbow cotton 86. So for the mane of his body, I use this color, which I really love, which is color 88. It's like a caramel color. Then for his muzzle, I used color number 6. It's a nice brown. So there you go, color number 6. And then for his paw prints, I used rainbow cotton color number 8. And then the eyes, it's just, I think, color number 1. It's just white. Rainbow cotton 8 for color number 1 in white. So there you have it. So what do you guys think? I actually, personally, I prefer him in the smaller size. I absolutely love how he turned out. Okay, this is just, sorry, I forgot to say, just a little scrap of pink, also in rainbow cotton 8-4. So there you have it, Mr Barksalot, the mini version. Next on my list, you know that a few of us here on YouTube have been going through a vintage pattern revival. I don't know what you would call it. It is just the vintage pattern vibe has gotten a hold of a few of us. And let me tell you, once you start, it is very difficult not to just keep on going with it. So I'm waiting for patterns, but I'll chat to that a bit later about other patterns. But you would have seen in a few of my previous episodes the pairs of bears that I've been working on. So I did, originally I finished the party girl bear, which was this girl. And then I did the Christmas bears. I did the little boy and the Christmas girl. But she still needed her boyfriend. Now I had a bit of a struggle deciding how I was going to make him, because I didn't have enough of this white yarn, and it took me weeks and weeks to sort out what to do. And then one of you lovely people, I think, is it Claire? I think it's Claire. She gave this amazing suggestion. Why not just use white, or the remaining white, because I knew I wouldn't have enough of this one left to do a full bear. And she said, well, why don't I just use the white on the exposed part of the bear and use any other color for the parts that you don't see, which was a genius idea. I did it, and I finished Party Boy Bear. So there you have it. So for him, his inside, so his body, I made in yellow, which is the biggest part of the bear. So it's this whole inside part from his neck all the way down to where you attach his leg. Everything is in yellow. And then I had enough yarn to do all the visible parts of his little body, including his tail, in the white that I had left. So this was the Confection DK that I got in the June Crochet Society subscription box. So I now have 0 of the white left. And then I used, they had these 2 colors of blue originally. I thought, do I want to incorporate some sort of pink in him, which I didn't obviously do in the end. But she had a part of the light blue in her dress, and I thought, well, that actually worked really well. So he has got his little pants, his little shirt, which is nicely tucked in because he's obviously going to a very fancy party. Now you have to tuck your pants, your shirt into your pants if your girlfriend looks like this, fancy and spruced up. So he's got his little pants, he's got his little bow tie, which I just made actually with some of my cotton thread, the rainbow cotton 8-4. I think I just did a tiny little bow tie. The buttons was a struggle. I didn't have nice buttons actually to use. So these are 7mm safety eyes. Yep, I popped safety eyes on for the buttons, which luckily you wouldn't really notice because I used the kawaii safety eyes for him. And he's got his little party hat, and him and his little girlfriend, they are ready for action. I love them. So these two and my two Christmas bears, they are actually displayed right at my desk where I work, because I just love them so much. So a few more, I'm sure, bears will pop up in the upcoming weeks and months, because I absolutely love working on them. There's still a few of the bears in the other patterns that I've got that I want to try out. But just to give myself a break from the bears. Now, I did mention it sort of slightly in a previous video that I want to make some of the gorgeous vintage Barbie dresses that's available in like older patterns. So I went onto eBay. I've been sort of watching a few other channels, Kelly over at Crochet More for Life, and Julie over at KS Mom Crochets. They have been showing a lot of vintage patterns over the last few weeks on their channels, and I'm telling you guys, I've got to stop watching these YouTube videos because it is so inspiring to see what other people are making and what's out there. I mean, things that I could not even imagine existed. So, you know, I've let go of my favorite online shop for now, which is Etsy. Moved over slightly to eBay, and I did purchase a few patterns which are not here yet, because, you know, it feels like Denmark is probably the furthest place in the world from everywhere. Everything takes long to get here. But I'm still fairly patient at this stage. Like, I'm very anxious to get the patterns. I cannot wait to show you guys. But in the meantime, just to sort of tide me over, I did purchase a PDF pattern on Etsy for a Barbie dress. Now, it's not as intricate or as fancy as the patterns that I've got coming, but I just wanted to see, can I at least follow a dress pattern? Because I'm not a dress maker, I'm a toy maker, and my vintage bears, I mean, this is the most clothes I've made for toys ever. So I normally do the toys where the clothes are sort of attached to their bodies. But I really wanted to see, before now my horde of Barbie dress patterns arrive, can I at least make a dress that would fit a Barbie? So I bought a PDF of a pattern that's not too complicated. It's not a vintage pattern, it's just a regular pattern of like a princess shaped dress. Although in the end I did only half of the dress. But I will show you now what I mean with only doing half the dress. So I got out the thinnest yarn that I had, because most patterns actually ask you for a lace weight, or I think in the US it's called a number 10 crochet thread, which I don't have. The thinnest yarn I've got is fingering weight. And although obviously we all know not all yarn weights are exactly the same within a specific category, so I scratched around in the yarns I've got and took out the thinnest fingering weight yarn that I could find, which was this beautiful yarn. Universe, my hobby. It is an acrylic yarn. It is absolutely beautiful. Now, I bought it, I think more than a year ago already. From, I saw it, I think it was on a sale at some stage last year. I absolutely love the colors. It said it was fingering weight, but it is super thin. So this is why I've still got, I actually bought 2 of these balls. I've got the majority of them left. I did try a few things with it, but it's just so thin that I actually, I paired it with some other yarn in the end. But with the Barbie dresses, I will probably have to use, for the majority of them, a very thin cotton lace weight or a thread. So I wanted to see, can I follow a pattern using thin yarn like this. So I did actually do a little gauge swatch according to what the pattern instructed. I never do gauge swatches because, I mean, for amigurumi, who cares? I don't care. I mean, I rarely even follow the recommended yarn or recommended hook size from a pattern. I just do my own thing. But in the case of this Barbie dress, I did follow the use the gauge swatch. It worked out exactly, which was beautiful. So I know that if I make a dress, I can use this very thin acrylic yarn, although I will probably purchase some cotton thread. And I ended up, now I will show you my Barbie. This is her. So she is on a stand. I will take her off now. Okay, the one thing I must tell you, I absolutely love these made to move Barbies. And I wish when I was small and I had a Barbie, you know, we all had those Barbies with the stiff arms and the stiff legs. But these ones, look at them. They've got these amazing movements. So if you have something that you want to display, I mean, they just do all sorts of incredible poses. But anyway, I am digressing from my actual story, which is this beautiful pattern. So the pattern actually is a long dress. So it goes down to her feet. And it's got a little shoulder part. Now I'll pop in a picture of the pattern on the side just so that you can see what it's supposed to look like. Let me just take her arm down. She is now holding her hair out of the way. Then let me just take this. So the actual pattern has got like a little shoulder piece that you attach, which I did make. And I actually did attach it and it looked terrible. I really didn't like the look of it. I liked it more like this, just a simple top part. And luckily the yarn is so beautiful. I mean, the color changes are amazing. So I made this dress, and when I got to this stage and I fit it onto the Barbie, I just actually wanted to see if it got over, you know, because it's all done in the round. So there's no fastenings or snaps or anything that you have to attach. So I just wanted to see if my gauge did work correctly from the swatch into the actual dress, which it did because it fits her perfectly. And when I fit it, I absolutely loved this this length. So I thought, well, this was sort of a test. It wasn't meant to be like the actual pattern that I'm going to do for Barbie. This was just a test to see if I could follow a dress and make it fit a Barbie, which it did. And it had this beautiful, it's not a very difficult pattern that it had. Let me see, I wonder if you guys will be able to see it. Oh, this yarn is just so beautiful. But anyway, it's like a little double crochet pattern with some, you can see here, sort of where you skipped. So that's just all the way around. And what I like is because there's no, it's not a flat panel, all done in the round. There's no seams or anything odd. The pattern also suggests that you put a little bow around the waist, which is what I did. So there we go. So my test pattern for Barbie is ready. But now, of course, I can't wait till my actual vintage patterns arrive. Anyway, all right. If you guys thought that we were done, we are not. And I'm sorry for the length of this video already. But I've got one more thing combined. It's two things combined into one. I received some happy mail, and this is what I wanted to share with you guys. So my friend Julie over at Kay's Mom Crochets, she and I did like a postcard exchange because I love postcards. And you know, I live in a very touristy city. So I live very, very close to the center of Copenhagen, and everywhere you go are these souvenir shops, and you know, postcards are everywhere. And I don't think people send postcards anymore. I'm not sure. And I just decided one day I want to send postcards to my friends and my family. So I popped a few in the mail. And then Julie loved the idea. And she said, okay, let's do a postcard exchange. And I received her beautiful postcard from Kentucky, where she is from. So it is so much fun to get handwritten letters in the mail. I absolutely loved it. And people don't really send letters. kids don't learn about letters anymore. We were playing, it was 30 seconds or Pictionary or something with our children, and we had to describe the word stamp that you would put on a letter. And my 10-year-old did not have a cooking clue what I was talking about. She didn't know. She knew what a letter was, but she didn't realize what a stamp was. She didn't know. They don't learn it in school, I think, anymore. So she had no idea. So I think, it's so nice to get a card in the mail that someone's written by hand, because everything is electronic, everything is fast, everything is instant. So I love this idea. So this from my friend Julie at Kay's Mom Crochets. Then I got another parcel in the mail. This one from my friend Caroline over at For the Love of Crochet. Now she knows that me living in Denmark, I don't have access to all the same amazing things that you guys in the US have got access to. So even back in South Africa, and I know I've got a few yarny friends from South Africa watching, although we have large yarn shops, a lot of it is online or you buy at the haberdashery. We don't have anything big like a Hobby Lobby or a Joann's or anything like that. And even less now that I'm in Denmark. So I buy all my yarn online from Hobby because they're here in Denmark. But I'm slightly jealous, when everyone has their little yarn hauls that they show. And my dear friend Caroline, she decided she wanted to send me a little Hobby Lobby yarn haul. So this is what I got in the mail. And I quickly want to show you guys what she sent me. Now, all of this yarn has already been allocated to certain projects, which you will also see in the upcoming weeks. But let me quickly run through the parcel and what I got. So she sent me this beautiful Yarn Bee Stitch 101 acetate. Now these were this color, and then this Yarn Bee, which is tweed, indeed golden tweed. So these two are actually yarns that Caroline used on her project when we did the All for Fall collab. Now this is the most gorgeous yarn, and what I am going to use this for, and this is why I'm starting with these ones, because I've got this little mini series I'm doing, how much can I make with 200 grams of whatever. So I did how much can I make with 200 grams of fingering weight. Then fairly recently I did one, how much can I make with 200 grams of DK. So this Yarn Bee is a weight 4, so worsted 4 weight yarn. So my next episode will be how much can I make using these two. So 200 grams of this beautiful Yarn Bee, which is an acetate cotton viscose polyester blend. So let me know what you guys think the theme for these two beautiful yarns will be. So for my fingering weight, I did dinosaurs. For my DK weight, I did bears. What do you guys think? I'm excited to start on them. All right, next one, she sent this beautiful Yarn Bee Authentic hand-dyed Meteorites Delight. And I actually told Caroline this is such a gorgeous, gorgeous yarn. Now, I've never, I don't buy hanks. I'm actually too afraid to take this thing apart. It's like, I feel like it should hang on my wall because I love it. I love these hanks. I love how they twist it. I don't know. It's beautiful. So this one, once I ever decide to take it out of its hanky state, will be a bear. Yes, I'm going to do some sort of a bear with this beautiful hand-dyed yarn. Next one she sent was I love this yarn, and I always see people making stuff with I love this yarn, and I know why you do, because it's amazing. It is so soft. So I love this yarn in color pastels. So it's got this nice speckled look. Not sure exactly what I'm going to do with it. I've got an idea, but you will see this boy featuring very soon. Then two yarns that I'm going to be using together as well for a project, so keep your eye out for that, is this Baby Bee Sweet Delight, bare blue mold. I don't know what's that word. So this one, which is very, very, very soft. It's a 60% acrylic, 40% polyamide. So this baby bee, which I will be pairing with another baby bee that she sent me, baby Lulu, which is a color baby blue. So it's this fuzzy, it's like a fuzzy type of a yarn. So these two I will actually be using 2 strands together. And I've got a plan for them already. They're beautiful, they're soft. I think it's going to be amazing. And then you would have seen on Caroline's channel, she showed this before, I think on a few episodes. I think she's actually mentioned these, that if she goes out, she takes these because they whip up so quickly if she's waiting somewhere. And it's these beautiful African flower sponges. So she sent me one of these ones, which will never ever be used because it is too precious to me. So Caroline, this is beautiful, but I will not use it because it will just break my heart. So there you have it, folks. This is the video for today. A lot of things, I know it felt actually very random. So thanks for sticking with me. Thanks for watching. Thanks for sharing in my projects. Thanks for sharing in the excitement of making toys, of receiving yarn, of chatting about yarn. It's always fun to talk to you guys and to hear your guys' feedback and to get your guys' suggestions. I absolutely love it. Thank you for joining me today. Pop some comments in. What are you guys doing? Give me some suggestions on this yarn that I've never ever in my entire life had my hands on. What would you guys make with something like adorable with a speckled yarn? I mean, you know, it's going to be a toy. So I would love to hear what you guys would have made with it, or what you guys make with it, because all of you, most of you, probably have had this yarn before. These ones. Pop in some ideas. I'd love to hear what you guys think. All right, folks, that is it for now. I'm going to get going. I've got a lot of projects working that I'm busy working on. I'm trying to work through my whips, which there are hundreds of, because as soon as my vintage Barbie patterns arrive, they will be taking over my life. So I'm trying to get a few things done before then. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for the chat. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I look forward to when I see you guys again. Have a lovely, lovely Wednesday. Stay safe and stay creative.